Morning and welcome to our program TVC Breakfast. It's a super Friday. Why? Because we are all very strong this morning. My name is Etoma Edu.
And when the cock crows at dawn, it signifies it's a new day. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us on TVC Breakfast. I am Emmanuel Ajayi, and thank God it's Friday.
It's Friday indeed. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to TVC Breakfast this wonderful Friday. The table looks good, as you can see. My name is Nelson Etta. Welcome. And Emmanuel, it's good to have you on the breakfast table.
Absolutely. It's a men's show this morning.
You know?
It's a men's
and
show.
I'm super excited to be here.
Oh,
You know, somebody asked earlier, is today Men's Day? I said yes.
And it's as if we all had the memo. It's a
blue day.
It's a blue day, yeah.
Right.
It's a blue day, and today we are talking security, left, right, and center. It seems to be what is taking the center stage right now in Nigeria. Security.
Yeah, indeed, Etoma, well said. And that's exactly where we begin the show this morning. The Senate has passed a major reform bill with provisions that clarify command structures and ensure the armed forces operate fully within constitutional boundaries. The Armed Forces Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2025, sponsored by Senator Abdulaziz Yaradua, proposes a complete modernization of the Armed Forces Act to reflect current society realities. Our correspondent Tijeshu Adoye files in this report.
Nigeria's armed forces are widely regarded as the backbone of national sovereignty. But the legal framework guiding their operation remains rooted in a military decree from 1960s, last consolidated more than 20 years ago. Presenting the bill on the Senate floor, Senator Abdulaziz Musa Yaradua says the outdated law no longer reflects today's complex defense environment, especially as the military continues to confront insurgency, terrorism, and regional peacekeeping demands.
Many democracies, Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, including the United States, United Kingdom, and South Africa, have modernized their military laws to ensure justice, accountability, and professionalism. Nigeria cannot afford to lag behind.
Wednesday's debate also mirrored public concerns from recent confrontations between FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and a military officer, an incident that reignited questions about professionalism, discipline, and clear lines of authority within the armed forces.
Authority of democratically elected institutions so that they cannot be masters of themselves.
And we spend a lot of money training these military people. I want, in amending this law, I want them to bring at any time the commander-in-chief wants to appoint a chief of army staff, chief of naval staff, you should go by their courses.
In line with international obligations, the bill prohibits the recruitment of anyone below 18 years, aligning the armed forces with global humanitarian standards. It also empowers trained military lawyers to represent the institution in civil courts, cutting costs and reducing delays. To deepen scrutiny, the Senate has referred the bill to a joint committee on Defense, Army, Air Force, and Navy, with directives to report back in 4 weeks. Tijeshu Adeoye, TVC News, Abuja.
You know, Etoma Emmanuel, some persons are saying that this might have probably come a bit late. This should have been before now. Because if we do not get to the point where we bring some level of order in not just the military now, but I'm thinking in the entire of our uniform agencies, then we would keep seeing some of the impunity that we see. For instance, now, I could call, uniform agency, especially the military, on you just because you and I had a civil matter. And then I just call and they just come mop you and give you good beatings of your life. It is things like that that is part of the element of this bill to ensure that you don't get to do that just because you have the uniform, which represents our national discipline.
Yes, and the organizations like the military, personally, I think their laws or guidelines should be reviewed every 10 years, because every 10 years, to me, it looks like a generation has gone out, another generation has taken over. And when there's a new generation coming in, things will change. What we are discussing today in the Senate I believe would have been discussed like 15 years ago when we started having insurgency and all this. The Nigerian military, as it is, does not have a special training for the kind of problems they are facing right now. If those laws were down, trainings like that would have been had. Like the example you gave, can you call an American soldier to come and do anything for you because you have a civil issue with your neighbor? That can't happen. In fact, the average American wouldn't even think of it.
That's right. That's right.
Now, it is good that though it is late, we're having it. My suggestion is that while amending that law, please put a clause that says that our laws will be revisited every 10 years. You know, for upgrades, for fine-tuning, and so on.
Absolutely. Well, when you talk about this particular bill, it's a reenactment bill of 2025, and they're trying to look at some key components in this particular bill. One of it is the modernization of military governance, which talks about alignment in military governance with constitutional principles. So you can't just say this is what we have on ground, that you're not following the Constitution.
That is key.
Which is very key. It's also talking about disciplinary procedures.
Okay.
So how do you go about discipline in the military? It's not something everyone can just come and do a Jack and Harry situation. Well, the bill also aims to address the evolving security realities that we're having today in Nigeria. Look at what this particular bill has been done in the United Kingdom, in the US, especially in South Africa. So if we are seeing development on such bills, what is happening to Nigeria? It cannot just be a jack of all trades that you just go out there, do anything to ordinary civilian. You heard Uzo Kalu saying there that if the president is about to make any appointments, he must go according to their cause. You don't just pick someone who is a junior officer, automatically all those generals will resign.
We see that a lot happening.
That is what is happening in Nigeria at the moment. When you appoint someone who is a junior officer to you, you know, in the military, they go by respect.
And sometimes that respect can go out of line.
Absolutely.
Which is part of the thing that this bill seeks to really bring to order. Because one of the points you raised, Emmanuel, is the appointment of juniors to become your seniors overnight. And we had a retired, officer here some time ago on Politics Night who came to raise a key point on that issue, that this is really causing bad blood to be boiling in them. Because I was there when you were trained, and I'm in fact,
absolutely.
You trained yourself.
We are losing hundreds of generals. Once the appointment is made, they will definitely retire.
Exactly.
And this is a country where we're still talking about the security challenges that we're having. And some of these boys, some of these men that who are supposed to come and give us those security tips on how to nip in bud the Boko Haram insurgency that we're having in the country, you get them retired. So how are we going to get them to contribute to the successes that we should be recording fighting insurgency in Nigeria?
Well, you see, in situations like that, the military could absorb those people as consultants.
Right.
However, is it a common practice in Nigeria? I don't know, and I don't think so, because we have so many retired military officers who have no business being in retirement. You know, they are still active, they are still strong.
They are retired but not tired.
They are not tired. They should still be relevant within the military. You know, this law should also look towards that side and see how this thing is done. In other climes, let's use America for example, men like that find themselves in almost everything. You know, in the film industry as military consultants for the production of a film, in security for departmental stores and so on and so forth. But here in Nigeria, what I see is that they go and start their own security firm.
Can you blame them? Because there's nothing else to do. So instead of being idle, I have to create something by myself, and which was happening. And one of the things I wanted us to look at also is this issue of, seeing a lot of our military men on the streets. In other parts of the world, you don't get to see them that much. Shouldn't this also look into that? Like, okay, you people are supposed to be in a particular location doing a certain kind of job instead of being found anywhere, guarding land.
Which is true, absolutely. This bill is also talking about fair hearing provisions, introduce fair hearing provisions, and extend rights for non-commissioned officers, so that you can hear them before you court-martial any of them. It's also talking about percentage-based sanctions.
Yeah.
Replaces outdated fines and percentage based on sanctions tied to their salary level. So these are many issues that this bill will be addressing. And we hope to see how this will come into the light of the day to ensure that there are more
I'm sure we'll get more time when we get to the newspaper
officers.
review segments for you to bring some of this, elements of the bill.